Hold on, don't scroll. The 3 1-cent coins in my hand may look completely ordinary. They're old, worn, and easy to ignore. But what if one of them turned out to be worth hundreds of thousands of dollars to the right collector? It sounds unbelievable, but some rare Lincoln Wheat Pennies and Lincoln Memorial Cents have sold for astonishing prices because of their rarity, mint eras, or unique history. Welcome back to the channel. Today, we're counting down the top 3 most valuable 1-cent coins that every collector should know about. We'll look at the rare dates, mint marks, valuable era coins, and the key details that can turn an ordinary-looking penny into a collector's dream. The most surprising part, some valuable coins don't look special at all. They can be worn, dirty, or hidden in an old coin jar, and that's exactly why they're often overlooked. So before you spend another 1-cent coin, watch this video until the very end. You might discover that a coin you've owned for years is far more interesting than you ever imagined. Let's get started with coin number 1. Coin number 1, the 1951 Lincoln Wheat Penny, a hidden piece of American history. At first glance, this old 1951 Lincoln Wheat Penny doesn't look impressive. Its surface is dark, the details are worn, and years of circulation have left it with a black, weathered appearance. To most people, it's simply an old 1-cent coin. But to experienced collectors, every mark, every letter, and every tiny detail tells a story that began more than 70 years ago. The year was 1951. America was entering a new chapter after World War II. Factories that had once produced military equipment were now building cars, household appliances, and the products that fueled a rapidly growing economy. Families were returning to normal life, and millions of Lincoln Wheat Pennies flowed through banks, stores, and businesses every single day. This particular coin carries the small S mint mark, showing that it was struck at the San Francisco Mint. During the Wheat Penny era, coins from different mints often had different production numbers, making mint marks one of the first things collectors check. Although many 1951 cents were produced, high-grade examples and unusual era coins can attract strong interest from collectors. The Lincoln Wheat Penny series began in 1909 to celebrate the 100th birthday of President Abraham Lincoln. It became the first regular United States circulating coin to feature the portrait of a real historical person. That decision changed American coinage forever and marked the beginning of a new era in U.S. mint history. On the reverse of the coin are 2 wheat ears surrounding the words 1 cent. This simple design represented America's agricultural heritage and remained in production until 1958. Today, the Wheat Penny series is one of the most collected coin series in the world because it combines history, affordability, and the excitement of discovering rare varieties. Over the decades, billions of wheat pennies disappeared into piggy banks, cash registers, drawers, and forgotten family collections. Many were spent without a second thought, while others remained hidden for generations inside old jars and boxes passed down from parents and grandparents. Collectors carefully inspect every 1951 wheat penny under magnification. They look for crisp lettering, full wheat lines, original mint color, and unusual mint errors. Even a small difference in strike quality or a genuine mint-made error can make one coin much more desirable than another. Condition is one of the biggest factors in value. A heavily worn coin with scratches, corrosion, or cleaning marks is generally worth much less than a well-preserved example. Coins that retain their original surfaces and sharp details are always in greater demand among serious collectors. Some of the most exciting discoveries involve authentic mint errors, including off-center strikes, die cracks, repunched mint marks, or dramatic die varieties. These are mistakes made during the minting process, not damage that occurred after the coin entered circulation. Professional grading services examine a coin's authenticity, condition, and originality before assigning it a grade. Collectors around the world rely on certified coins because authentication helps protect buyers from altered or counterfeit pieces. Stories continue to emerge of families discovering old wheat pennies in inherited collections, estate sales, and forgotten coin albums. While most coins are common, every discovery reminds collectors why searching through old change remains such a fascinating hobby. Online auctions have introduced millions of new collectors to American coins. Exceptional examples with rare characteristics sometimes sell for impressive amounts, but those prices depend on rarity, preservation, demand, and expert authentication, not simply the date on the coin. If you own a 1951 Lincoln Wheat Penny, don't clean it or polish it. Cleaning can permanently damage the original surface and significantly reduce collector value. Instead, store it safely and examine it carefully for any unusual characteristics. Remember, not every old penny is rare, but every old penny carries a piece of American history. The 1951 Wheat Penny represents a fascinating period in the nation's past and continues to inspire collectors searching for the next great discovery. Now let's move on to the next remarkable coin on our countdown and uncover another incredible chapter in the history of America's most famous 1-cent coins. Up next. Coin number 2, the 1950 Lincoln Wheat Penny, a small coin that witnessed a changing America. At first glance, this 1950 Lincoln Wheat Penny appears ordinary. Its surface is dark and worn, the copper has aged over decades, and years of circulation have erased much of its original shine. To many people, it looks like nothing more than an old penny. Yet hidden within this small piece of metal is a remarkable story connected to American history, economic growth, and generations of everyday people. The year 1950 marked the beginning of a new decade. The United States was experiencing major changes as industries expanded, cities grew, and millions of families looked toward a future filled with opportunity. During this period, Lincoln Wheat Pennies passed through countless hands, becoming silent witnesses to one of the most important eras of the 20th century. Every 1950 Lincoln Wheat Penny carries the portrait of President Abraham Lincoln, one of the most respected figures in American history. His image had appeared on the cent since 1909, making it the first regularly circulating U.S. coin to feature a real historical person. Decades later, Lincoln's legacy continued to inspire Americans who carried these coins in their pockets every day. When this penny was minted, the United States Mint was producing enormous numbers of coins to support a rapidly growing economy. Businesses relied on cents for everyday transactions, and billions of coins moved through stores, restaurants, factories, and banks across the nation. The reverse side of the coin features 2 wheat stalks surrounding the words 1 cent. This famous design symbolized America's agricultural roots and became one of the most recognizable coin designs ever produced by the United States Mint. Imagine the journey this coin may have taken. It could have traveled across multiple states, passed through thousands of transactions, and been carried by workers, students, soldiers, and families. Every scratch and mark tells part of a story that can never be fully reconstructed. For collectors, the excitement begins with careful examination. They study mint marks, strike quality, color, and preservation. While most 1950 wheat pennies are common, collectors always search for exceptional examples and legitimate mint errors that stand out from ordinary coins. Some of the most fascinating discoveries involve coins with unusual production characteristics. Genuine mint-made varieties and errors can attract attention because they offer a glimpse into the complex manufacturing process used by the U.S. Mint. Condition remains one of the most important factors in determining collector interest. A heavily circulated coin with wear and environmental damage is usually worth much less than a sharply struck example that retains its original appearance. Professional coin graders use specialized techniques to evaluate authenticity and condition. Their assessments help collectors understand whether a coin is ordinary, scarce, or potentially significant within the marketplace. Over the decades, stories have emerged about old coin collections discovered in attics, family safes, and forgotten drawers. Many of these collections were assembled by parents and grandparents who saved coins simply because they appreciated history. The popularity of Lincoln Wheat Pennies continues to grow around the world. New collectors are drawn to the series because it combines history, affordability, and the possibility of discovering something unusual among seemingly ordinary coins. The 1950 Lincoln Wheat Penny represents more than just currency. It serves as a tangible connection to a generation that experienced dramatic technological advances, cultural changes, and economic expansion during the early post-war years. Today, collectors continue searching through rolls of old cents and inherited collections, hoping to find remarkable examples that survived decades of circulation. The thrill of the hunt remains one of the greatest attractions of coin collecting. So the next time you come across a worn 1950 Lincoln Wheat Penny with a dark surface and faded details, don't dismiss it too quickly. It may not be a fortune, but it is a genuine piece of American history, a small coin that has traveled through more than 7 decades of change, carrying with it the stories of countless people and an unforgettable chapter in the history of the United States. The 1955 Lincoln Wheat Penny, the final chapter of an American coin legend. The final coin in today's countdown is one of the most fascinating names in American coin collecting, the 1955 Lincoln Wheat Penny. At first glance, this old 1-cent coin may appear ordinary. Its surface may be dark, its copper color faded into brown or nearly black after decades of circulation, and its design may seem worn by time. Yet behind this humble appearance lies one of the most talked about chapters in the history of the United States Mint. The story begins in 1955, when America was experiencing one of the strongest economic booms in its history. New highways stretched across the country, automobile production reached record levels, television entered millions of homes, and families looked toward a future filled with opportunity. Every day, millions of pennies moved from hand to hand, quietly witnessing the transformation of modern America. Among those countless coins were the famous 1955 Lincoln Wheat Pennies. Most were struck exactly as intended and entered circulation without attracting attention. However, a small number became legendary because of an extraordinary minting mistake that would eventually become one of the most famous era coins ever produced by the United States Mint. That remarkable variety is known as the 1955 double die obverse. During production, the working die received an unusual doubling that caused the date and many inscriptions on the front of the coin to appear dramatically doubled. Unlike damage that occurs after a coin leaves the mint, this doubling happened during the manufacturing process itself, making it a genuine mint era highly prized by collectors. For decades, collectors searched pocket change, coin rolls, and family collections, hoping to discover one of these famous double-die pennies. Stories spread through coin clubs and hobby magazines about lucky individuals who found valuable examples in ordinary circulation. Those discoveries inspired generations of collectors to examine every old penny more carefully. Not every 1955 Lincoln Wheat Penny is the famous double-die variety. The vast majority are normal business strike coins and are much more common. That is why careful identification is essential. Date alone does not determine value. Collectors always examine the coin's variety, condition, originality, and authenticity before estimating its market value. A worn coin with scratches, corrosion, or heavy cleaning generally brings far less interest than an example with original surfaces and strong detail. Serious collectors appreciate coins that have been preserved naturally over time, even if they show honest circulation wear. Originality often matters more than a shiny appearance. The dark brown or black color seen on many old wheat pennies is usually the result of decades of natural oxidation. Copper reacts with oxygen and moisture over time, creating rich brown, chocolate, or nearly black tones. While this color alone does not make a coin rare, it reflects the long journey that coin has taken through history. Many families still own old jars of pennies collected by parents or grandparents. Hidden inside those collections may be coins that have not been examined for decades. Although most are ordinary circulated pieces, they preserve memories of another era and remind us how everyday objects can survive long enough to become historical treasures. Professional grading and authentication have become essential parts of modern coin collecting. Organizations carefully inspect important coins to confirm authenticity, identify varieties, and assign standardized grades. This process gives buyers and sellers greater confidence and helps protect the hobby from altered or counterfeit pieces. One important lesson every collector learns is never to clean an old coin. Polishing or scrubbing may seem helpful, but it can permanently damage the original surface and reduce collector value. A naturally aged coin is almost always preferred over one that has been artificially cleaned. The Lincoln Wheat Penny series, produced from 1909 through 1958, remains one of the most beloved coin collections in the world. It connects generations of Americans with the history of President Abraham Lincoln, the growth of the United States, and the everyday lives of millions of people who once carried these small copper coins in their pockets. Today, the 1955 Lincoln Wheat Penny continues to capture the imagination of collectors because it proves that history can sometimes be found in the smallest places. A single cent can tell stories of innovation, craftsmanship, economic growth, and the remarkable journey of American coinage across the 20th century. Whether your own 1955 wheat penny is a common circulation coin or a rare authenticated variety, its true importance lies in the history it carries. Every scratch, every mark, and every faded detail reflects decades of real use and real people whose lives crossed paths with this small piece of copper. Thank you for joining this journey through the top 3 Lincoln Wheat Pennies. If you enjoyed uncovering the hidden history behind these classic American coins, remember to like, subscribe, and continue exploring your own collection. You never know what piece of history might be waiting inside an old coin jar or a family heirloom, and that spirit of discovery is what makes coin collecting so exciting.